Hi, friends. This is Self-Government Podcast. I govern myself, therefore I ruled my world. I govern myself, therefore I ruled my world. This is Raphael Ahavi. I want to share with you today about leadership, what leadership actually means, and how all of us are created and are born to lead in a specific calling of life. And many times we find it difficult to understand that we are a leader or you are a leader. So today I want to define leadership to you and what it entails, or what is the component that can make you a leader, or what can make you to become a leader, and how you must learn to become a leader. Leadership, I have studied leaders over the years. I have studied books, I have read hundreds of books on leadership. But I'm still learning and still trying to understand what leadership actually means. So, leadership is the ability to influence, guide, and inspire people toward a shared goal or a vision. A leadership is the ability to influence, guide, and inspire people toward a shared goal or a vision. That is very, very important. It is not just about being in charge. Leadership is not only about being in charge or occupying a position, but is the ability to be able to influence and guide and inspire the people to follow you and to accomplish a specific task and goal and vision in life. It is not just about being in position or having a title. It is about how you impart others. How do you impart others? How do you influence others? How do you guide others? How do you counsel and advise others to achieve great things in life? That is leadership. At its core, leadership means influence. If you want to become a leader, you must be able to influence people to choose to follow you. You must influence people to choose to follow your direction. Not because they are forced, but because they trust you. You must be able to influence others in order to choose to follow you. They must choose to follow you. Not because you force them, but because they trust you that what you are saying is the truth and we can accomplish that. That is influence. And influence is subtle, doesn't make noise. If you are influencing someone, the person shouldn't make noise. If you're forcing the person and you're struggling with the person, that is not an influence. Influence, for example, if you are baking bread or making cake, when you put yeast in the dough doesn't shout, but the dough will rise and become big for you to be able to get the best out of the dough. So as a leader, you must be able to get the best out of the people You must influence them to become powerful. You must influence them to charge, to become great, to expand, and choose to follow you. So as a leader, you must exert great influence. You must be like a light. When you shine, when you appear, people, the darkness and everything that troubles people disappears. That is influence. You must be the light in people's life. You must be the yeast in people's life. When you appear and you speak, there must be a change. And a leadership is vision. If you want to be a leader, you must have influence over the people, and you must have a vision. What is a vision? A vision is ability to see something that others hasn't seen yet. A vision is ability to point to something that you want your team and your people to accomplish in next 10 years, in next 15 years, in your lifetime. That is a vision. That's something that is not visible to the eyes of normal man, but you are pointing that this is what we want to achieve. We want to build an organization that will help the poor for next 20 years, next 30 years. That is what we are going to do. Taking 200 people to school, taking 1,000 children to school and paying their fees and training them to be an entrepreneurs and teaching them to get the best out of life and to understand and discover their purpose and their vision in life. When you point to that to your group, they will find it difficult to understand it. But you as the leader, you have to, vision is one. You must have one vision, and that vision must be clear to everybody to follow. And you must keep it no matter how hard it is that we are going to accomplish this. You must have influence and you must have vision. Vision is you see a direction or a future and help others to see it too. You see a direction of your life or a future and help others to see it too. So you must make people to see your vision. You must make people to understand your vision, and you must make the people to run with you. As a leader, a leadership, to become a leader, you must take responsibility. You must take responsibility. You must have influence. You must have vision, and you must take the responsibility. You take ownership, especially in difficult times. You take ownership, especially in difficult times. Taking responsibility of everything as a leader. That is what makes you a leader. And everybody can do this. It takes discipline to learn, to influence, and to have something that you want to accomplish in your short life. And you must take responsibility. Take responsibility. You must take ownership of every challenge, of every difficulties. You must take ownership. You know, that is what leaders are made for. So let's learn this and responsibility. Stand up on your feet. Decide to accomplish something and take responsibility of your life. Take responsibility of other people's life. Take responsibility of people around you. Be in charge of your community. Even though people may not like it at first, but do it humbly and show them the way that this is how it's done. As a leader, you must learn to show the way. Take responsibility. And leadership, if you want to become a leader, you must learn to serve. A service. Leadership is a service. Leadership is service. We must learn to serve each other. When you serve people, they begin to see a certain attribute in you, and then they will decide to follow you. when you help others to grow, when you educate others, when you bring the best out of them, when you help others to succeed and become better people, when they come around you, they feel comfortable. They feel that they don't feel like living. They want you to keep inspiring them. That is service. You must have something to serve people. That is what makes you to become a leader. And a simple way to understand it, leadership is not about controlling people. It's not about intimidating and manipulating people. Leadership is about developing people. It's about developing people and directing them toward a purpose, toward a vision, toward a goal. That is leadership. That is leadership. That is leadership. Leadership is not about controlling, bossing people. It is about developing people around you and directing them toward a purpose. And here is something very, very important, especially based on your my thought. Leadership is about people. Leadership, it's about people. Everything we do on earth is about each other. You cannot be a leader of a car, or you cannot be a leader of an animal. You can only lead another human being, and you must get used to that. Even though human beings are very difficult to lead, but you must train yourself to be ready to lead human beings. Leadership is about people, but it is also involve things and projects. Leadership is about people, but it also involves things or projects. You influence the people to accomplish certain things and also build certain projects. Because projects are how people express purpose. Everything we build in life, that is how we express our purpose and our greatness in life. As a leader, you must influence people to be able to build something. You must build something. Challenge the people to build something. A true leader manages both. You must manage people and you must manage things and projects. People, heart, motivation, growth, task, goals, system, results. So leadership is the ability to mobilize people and resources to achieve meaningful results. Leadership is the ability to mobilize people and resources to achieve meaningful results. That is leadership. You must be able to mobilize people and resources to achieve great things. To achieve great things. To achieve great things. That's leadership. And this is, we have different types of leadership. And let me just share it briefly in addition to you. The types of leadership, or how some with nothing can still become a powerful leader. If you don't have anything, if you are poor, you don't have resources, but you can still become a leader. The reason why I want to discuss this is because our world today, people are attracted to things, to riches, to people who seem to have. And people who don't have find it difficult to influence people, because people are easily be influenced with things, with money, with properties, with things, with dressing. So these things are affecting a lot of young men and women to become leaders because they don't have the resources. And those who have the resources are not even have the skill, what it takes, the influence, the vision to become a leader, but they are becoming a leader because of the things that they have. But I just want to tell you, my friends, that every one of us can become a leader. Even though we may not have the resources, we may not have the money, but we can become a leader, even though it will be hard and difficult, but we can become the leader. Types of leadership, simple and practical. We have, you don't need a title to use this. You don't need a title to use it. We have visionary leadership. Visionary leadership. Visionary leadership. As a leader, to become a leader, you must be someone who has a vision, a visionary leadership. You focus on helping others to grow. You don't ask, how can they serve me? You ask, how can I lift them up? That is a visionary leader. That is a visionary leader. Visionary leader, you show people where to go. You show people where to go. Example, someone who says, we can build something better here, and people believe it. You must tell your people that we can build something, and this is what we are going to build. And the thing must be big enough so that they can see themselves in it. That they can see that this thing, if we build it, it's going to benefit them in the long runs, because people want the benefits. So if they are going to sacrifice to follow you and to listen to your visionary leadership, they must see themselves in the vision. So we have a visionary leadership, and then we have a servant leadership. And a servant leadership, as I said earlier, means you focus on helping others to grow. You don't ask, how can they serve me? How can they give me? What can I benefit from these people? You ask, how can I lift them up? So as a leader, that is when the resources needs to come in, but you can do it without the resources. You can help your followers without giving them money in another way. You can motivate them in another way, that they will go out to get the resources for themselves, and they will come back and help you and support you. Then we have leading by example. We have leadership by leading by example. You don't talk too much. As a leader, you show it with your life. You don't talk too much. You must be an action-oriented. You move. You get things done. Leading by example leadership. You have to lead by example. You have to jump. If you say we can dig, start digging. If you say we can jump, start jumping. All right? People follow what you do, not what you say. Human beings naturally follow what you do. When you're doing it, then they will do it with you. So do it. Be an action-oriented leader, leading by example. Leading by example. We have a leadership, types of leadership, is situational leadership. Situational leadership. Situational leadership means you have to observe your environment, you have to observe the people. Then when they have a certain kind of challenges and difficulties, then you step in and solve the problems for them. That is one example that we see in biblical characters all the time. And that is the example we see in our revolutionaries all the time. Our leaders in our nation, those are the examples that we see. Anytime there is a situation in the community, in the home, and in the nation, that is when leaders are made. So you study the situations around you and step in and bring the solution. Then you will become the leader. You adopt depending on people and circumstances. Sometimes you guide, sometimes you support, sometimes you step back as a leader. Now, I think this is Self-Government Podcast, and we are sharing a bit on leadership and things that let's practice what we are sharing here and follow it and practicalize it in our lives, and let's see how the result will come out. Thank you for watching, and thank you for following and subscribing and sharing. Thank you.